Hey everybody, it's Queen Jelly and welcome back to the Toy Box. So for today's video, we're actually going to be doing Ghoulia Yelps. This is the Monster High Deadfast Ghoulia Yelps doll. This is the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive doll. It has been a hot minute that she has been patiently waiting to be unboxed. I would say probably about a week. Yes, I did just say about a week ago because at time of filming, that's how long I had her. Unfortunately, this video never got posted, and when going back and deleting some old footage, I found it. So I now went ahead and edited it, and I'm getting it up now. So I hope that you can still enjoy it, even though it's a little bit of an older video and a little bit of an older doll. Or so that I've had her. There's just been a lot going on, and I've been kind of getting ready for some stuff, like I said, and doing a lot of back-to-back filming. So this one kind of went to the side because I wanted to prioritize some stuff that's currently on the shelves, whereas the only way to get her would be through secondhand sellers. So I figured she could wait a little bit, but a little bit was supposed to be a few weeks, not 9 months. Oops. I personally am very excited to get her added into my collection. I already have the San Diego Comic-Con doll from last year. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the Frankie. That was the first one that released in this alumni series, but at least I got this Ghoulia. I personally am a cosplayer, and so cosplay means a lot to me, and I used to go to conventions like all the time. I haven't been to one in a while, but I would really love to go back. So having a Ghoulia that is themed around conventions and cosplay just really means a lot to me. So I've been looking very much forward to getting her out of this box. So hopefully you guys will enjoy her. And of course, I will show you all of the good things about her box that she comes in for display in just a moment. So I am an out-of-box collector, so I will be deboxing her. However, she has quite the large display box, so I want to go ahead and get in a nice show off down here before we move up to the desk, where I will also be unboxing her the rest of the way. But I just wanted to pull her out and see what she looks like down here while we have the space, because again, yeah, this is one of the larger like Mattel shippers that I've received, so I figured her box had to be pretty big, which I feel like this is bigger than even some of the like twin packs that we've had, but that's because the way that she's displayed in here. So we have this really gorgeous artwork of her on this side. This is stunning, and I'm very happy to say that my box is in good condition, because even though I debox, I keep all of my boxes because I like to display them in front of or back inside their box, just on their stand. So this is really gorgeous. Another beautiful piece over here. On the top it says Monster High. It also says Monster High on the side. This is the bottom of the box. There's her barcode, but again, this was a Mattel Creation San Diego Comic-Con doll, so these are not still available. I do have some small damage over here in the corner, but nothing you can't see if you're not really looking that close to it. And then here's the piece de resistance, this side, where it looks like it's broken here, like she's trying to break out, and you can see Ghoulia back in there. Now, I wonder how this box opens, because I don't want to... I think it just slides out. Okay. Yeah, this is quite the display, which is so cool. So here she is, zooming across, dressed as her favorite superhero. She also has an action figure of Deadfast back there, as well as a miniature comic. And there is also this on the side, so I will get that off in a minute. But I believe that this is an actual small comic here. Monster High Deadfast Ghoulia. Says it again here on the side, right under that comic book. And then here is the back, which I will, of course, as always, read once we get up onto the desk. But we have more of that absolutely gorgeous artwork of Ghoulia. And then, yeah, there she is on the front. And again, there's the bottom. I know that this, like, box has a lot of display value as it is. And I do keep some dolls that I really appreciate their display in box. I'm not a 100% out of box collector, but I am like a 99.9% out of box collector. And I think she's still going to come out of the box, just because like I want to have her be able to come with me to conventions and stuff. And obviously I can't bring this whole big box with me everywhere. And she also has a really cool stand, so I still think she's going to display really nicely. Obviously, the hair's not going to, be zooming out behind her, but like I said, I think she's gonna still display really nicely even outside of the box. And I'm very interested to get into this comic over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and move up to the desk. While I'm doing that, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in just a second. Okay, I have her up here on the desk. Here's another closer up look at her artwork, which is just absolutely gorgeous. Whoa, that was really stiff. Here is the back of the box. It says, a supersonic sighting caused quite the stir at Necron this year. A vision in red and black zipped through the convention at warp speed, with electric blue hair flowing behind her and energy crackling across the glossy fabric of her supersuit. The masked crusader's gloved hands were blur of motion, and her aerodynamic boots hardly touched the ground. Excited rumors spread like monster fire, all coming from the same conclusion. She is none other than Deadfast. In the rather zombie-like flesh, the crime-fighting legend has been resurrected. Amazing. Again, I will be getting this off of the side of the box shortly, and I will be showing you guys what I find inside, and then one last look at Ghoulia before I remove her from the box. As I was packing up her box to put it away, I noticed this kind of design here, and I noticed it actually starts here. So the idea is to look like she's just running through like the walls and kind of runs across and like hits this, and it's kind of like finally just enough that she can't get the rest of the way out. And I think that's really cool. Again, it is kind of bowed just a little bit, and then has this glass shatter pattern, and I just think that's a super awesome detail of that box design, because they always do a phenomenal job with the boxes, which is exactly why I keep them, even though I don't keep my dolls in the box. Of course, I don't keep every single doll box, just those from my really high-end collectible ones, like the Monster High San Diego Comic-Con dolls or the other Mattel Creations dolls. I keep those boxes put away, and then everything else, of course, I get rid of, because if I was just going to keep every single box, then I might as well just be an inbox collector. But these kind of boxes are special, so I hold on to these ones. I just wanted to, while I was kind of putting her together, kind of say really quick that I don't want to say much about the availability of those things, because again, this was filmed a few weeks ahead of when you're going to be seeing it. Editing me again. Just wanted to let you know that the secondary collection is still available on Mattel Creations, even as of right now in April of 2025. But I do know that if you are interested in this character, there was other items from this collection that were released on Mattel Creations, but again, this doll was part of the San Diego Comic-Con and was released in a small number on Mattel Creations, although I will say that it was one of the best drops that we've ever had from Mattel Creations. She was on there for about 15 minutes, so pretty much everybody who wanted one and was able to afford her at the time was able to get one. Of course, there's always, you know, errors with the system and everything. I know some, you know, sometimes people will have issues with like their carts and stuff, but as far as like availability, this was on the page for a bit of time, and again, so was her like secondary merchandise. I do know that at least for a couple weeks after she was released that she still had merch on the site, so I don't know again if that's still available, but I do know that that was available, and that there was a full-size comic that they released. I don't know if it's different than this or if it's the same, but this is the medium-sized one that came on the side, which I will be looking at, and then this is the small one that came for her. As you can see, it has the same front and back, and then some pages, well, printing front and back on both these pages, but no individual pages inside. Her pass, her Deadfast figure, which is trying to break out of the box, her shopping bag, the doll, and then her personalized stand, which we will take a close look at, of course, everything that you see in front of you in just a minute, like we always do. But I just want to take a second and look at the comic book here. So it's Deadfast Brain Power, Sidekick turned superhero, and in this artwork it's really cute because she's reading the comic, but it's covering her face, so it looks like she's wearing the mask. And then here are the pages. I am not going to read this whole thing, but I am going to show them to you. I will read it myself, of course, but if you would like to read it, just go ahead and pause. And it says to be continued at the bottom, which I don't know if the actual full-size comic continued this or if this is because this is kind of short, so I'm guessing that the full-size comic is a little bit longer. Don't have the full-size comic, so I won't be able to tell you, but with this here, I'd bet you that this is the kind of last couple panels before the first comic starts. So let's see if that's, yeah. This first panel over here doesn't match, but this back panel here matches. Talk about ghoul power. I guess I really was destined to become Miss Deadfast. To be continued. It says the same thing on both of those. And then I'm not seeing, oh, there it is. Okay, here's the other panel in a larger size. It's her getting dressed in the costume. So there we can see her little badge. I see a little skull symbol. It looks like a strawberry. And I'm guessing it says Econ, but I cannot tell you for sure. But yeah, a lot of little details. It is supposed to be worn around the neck, so it does have this gap back here. Also, you can see that's the G3 Ghoulia came with the Deadfast board. We already take a look at this, but I'll show you a little bit closer. Just a couple panels, and there's the back with the Deadfast stickers on it. And then her figurine, which reminds me a lot of like a World's Smallest or like a surprise figure where it's in this kind of like slide off cardboard. This is the back. Again, it has a lot of text on it. I don't know if any of that's real. It's way too small for me to be able to tell. But there is definitely, it was made by Mattel. The recycle symbol, the Deadfast logo. I think that's funny that even in universe that it's made by Mattel and not like a different like spoof of the Mattel name. And then, so we can basically unbox her Deadfast figure and then repack it. So we can pop him out. And there he is. He is clearly like a spoof on the Flash. I'd love if there was like some, like a little peg on like the bottom of his foot so he could like fit on her stand somewhere, but he probably will just fit in her shopping bag. So we can repack him up now that we've seen all his little black and red details. You see the lightning bolt on his leg. He has some wings on his foot, some red gloves, little goggles, and the red painted on the back of his head. For such a small figure, he does quite a bit of detail, so I really appreciate that, of course. You can see this piece right here was loose in the box. It is now on there, and I don't think it's really coming off anywhere. It had a T intersection. It was kind of similar to the one that was at the bottom of the Wednesday cello. Here is her stand. This is another unique stand that we're getting with this collectors, which is something I really appreciate, and I hope to see that continue to see new stands for each of the new dolls, because it really elevates them when they have their own unique like display. It really makes them feel extra special. We have this like brain pattern down here. It is textured, but underneath is hollow. And then there's this lightning bolt feature back here, which I think is really neat. It's a gradient from black up to red. And then we have the basic waist clip here in the middle. And as you saw, she was held on it pretty tightly. Now, if we take our head to toe look at Ghoulia, she has this super long blue hair. It does go all the way to her ankles. It is side parted. So it's parted right over here, and then most of it goes over to the side. But then we have this really cool braid right here over this side that braids and then ends right about at the back of her skull, and then goes down to add to the crimped hair, which I really like how it adds like layers to her hair as well. And you can see, especially in this light, that there are lots of different shades of blue, which I think is a really nice touch. It brings out a lot of highlights. Like from far away, it just looks solid blue, but like if you bring it close, you can see like all the highlights and lowlights in it to make it this really pretty color. And it's so soft, like I don't want to stop playing with it. I'm also noticing that there's some black lowlights underneath as well. They're like super, super dark blue. For her face, she has these glasses that are currently attached with, looks like, ties on the side. Yeah, I think they're rubber banded to something. Maybe they're rubber banded to the plastic ties. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to be removing these. I don't want to lose them, so I'm just gonna see if I can not break them and see her face. There we are. So she has blue eyes. She has gray and red eyeshadow as well under there. They're very pretty. Painted on eyelashes. These are they kind of feel spider-esque to me. Glasses. Oh, I thought that was a big crack. It was just a hair, thank goodness. All right, so we have gray lenses with red trim and then a white trim as well. So it's a white trim right next to the lens, and then the red trim all the way around the outside, and then another gray trim around the outside of that. Again, these are very tight to her face. They're held on really well because these, this is her mask. It does come to a little bit of a beak here over her nose, which is really cute. If you look back here, we have some details. So it is almost wrapping all the way to the back of her head. I am seeing a shape here, but I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to be. If somebody knows what this shape is supposed to be, please let me know. Maybe it doesn't have as much significance as I'm trying to put on it, but I feel like it should be something because it's very unique. But it could just be the way that it's shaped to hold it onto her head. And then here's the other side. We have the same shape going on, and it's tucked into her hair, but it does also go further back, as well as then we have this attachment here that kind of looks like an antenna, which is really cool. And then both of her earrings are zippers. They're these bright red zipper design. They are removable, but the zipper is molded down in position. Her lipstick is a steely gray, which is really unique, and I love when they do more unique colors on the Monster High dolls. Then we have this choker here. It is a metallic red piece. It is open in the back. We have a kind of like harness piece here because you can see it crosses in the back, and then there's a waist clip and then some shoulder clips. It does appear to open here at the waist clip. It is made out of a shiny silver plastic. Then we have her bodysuit that does go all the way down, like all the way down to her ankles. As you can see, it's sticking out the back of her suit, and it is Velcro in the back. It is a bodysuit, so it's all one piece, but it's supposed to be all one piece, so that's perfectly okay. And the printing does go most of the way to the back. It's not like super detailed on the back, but there definitely is, like, you can see the like main pattern, the like texture pattern is all the way up around the back, because you can like literally, they printed on like stitching to make it look like it's fabric, but this is definitely like a pleather material. As you can see, the green is the stitching that goes all along her suit, so it's down her arm, down the side of her body, as well as I noticed these little peplums up here that are sewn down onto the shoulders with the same green thread. It is a black bodysuit that is very much contoured exactly to her body. There is a Deadfast logo right here on the white part of her chest, and then there are black, blue, green, and red details all the way around, all the way down to the wrists. And again, like I said, it goes all the way into the boots. She does also have on little red pleather gloves. No painted nails, but that's perfectly fine. Super cute. She also has on a Deadfast belt, so you see the DF. It is made of that same red material as the blood choker, and it does have some white painted details on it. In her hand is a fabric shopping bag, so we have Deadfast on both sides with the DF logo. And then here is her boots, which I think these are super cute. This is a backbone with ribs, kind of similar to like the rib cage piece that we saw on her club doll, the one that's sitting back here. And then it's the figurine. Oh my gosh. I know a lot of people don't like the item heels, but like, hello, for me, keep them coming. This is so cute. And these are matchy, so you can't, complain about the mismatched randomized that people have been calling it. But like, these are matching little figurines. That's so cute. They're literally, they're smaller than it, but it's the same exact shape as the figure. That is the cutest thing I've seen in a while. I'm dying. I love that. And then just a generic tread at the bottom, kind of a horseshoe shape almost. But yeah, they're black boots with white and red details with that little bone on the front, and then kind of like lightning bolt type squiggles through it. And you can see, again, if I pull this forward, that there is the bodysuit all the way down. But I'm not going to pull those off because they're very, very stiff, and I don't feel like fighting with them. So I took the rubber band off of the bag just so I could see, and I can get the figure and the comic book to fit. The figure is like a snug fit, so you have to be very careful, but he does indeed fit. And then we can rubber band this back on. Now, it was rubber banded to her like wrist right up here, so you can still see the dents from that, but I'm gonna try and put it just a little bit lower. Hopefully it will, I don't want it to leave more dents in her fabric, because like I said, it is a pleather material. So here Ghoulia is all dressed up on her stand. I kind of put her in as best as I could into kind of the same pose as Deadfast, with like the one foot up and the other one straight back. I think it looks super cute. The only thing to note is that her hair sometimes can get tangled in these lightning bolts back here, so it's just something to be mindful of and be careful with. We don't really want to, of course, get her hair caught and pulled out. But otherwise, I think she is really cool and looks really amazing on her stand. Again, I put all of her accessories on. So we have her convention badge up here. And then in her bag is all of her goodies from the convention. And yeah, she's ready to either go be part of a fandom or fight some crime, whichever comes first. Also, I just noticed that I can fit that comic book on the stand as well, which makes me feel really happy because I can just keep everything together and on display, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, here is my latest Monster High added to my collection. Super happy to have her. I'm gonna go ahead and take you over here to take a nice little look at her. And yeah. Let me know, guys, what you think of this Ghoulia. And as always, I hope you enjoyed our time together as much as I did. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you very soon in the next one. Bye!